Welcome to Boozy Movies, where watching movies and making cocktails is what we do.
You're not kidding.
Today, we are going to be heading to Miami to hang out with some of our little friends. That's right, we have 2 cocktails for Scarface.
That's where we coming.
A humble immigrant climbs the corporate ladder of the American dream, one mountain of cocaine at a time. It's a heartwarming tale about how crime, paranoia, and an excessive love for interior decor can really bring people together. So our first cocktail is based off of the very popular 1980s nose candy, the Yayo.
My gift to you.
Our second cocktail is based off of the very explosive ending to the movie, It's My Little Friend.
Now you're talking to me, baby.
Okay, well I think it's time to get this party started, and let's make the Yayo.
Lesson number 1.
You're gonna need Campari, peach schnapps, Grenadine, silver tequila, coconut rum, Liqueur 43, rice milk, lime juice, pineapple juice, Saline, and powdered sugar.
In a chilled schnapps glass, combine 1/4 ounce Campari, 1/4 ounce peach schnapps, and 1/4 ounce Grenadine. In a shaker tin, combine 1 ounce silver tequila, 1½ ounces coconut rum, 1/2 ounce Liqueur 43, 1 ounce rice milk, 1/4 ounce lime juice, 3/4 of an ounce pineapple juice, and a dropper of Saline. Add ice, cover, and shake until chilled. Place a chilled rocks glass over the schnapps glass and turn over smoothly to keep the red shot inside. Fill with pebble ice, then strain in white cocktail. And lastly, add a mound of powdered sugar on the bottom of the schnapps glass. And here is the Yayo. So we have a little fun action here. Ooh, that turned out really, really nice.
That's style, flash, pizzazz.
We wanted to do something that was symbolic of kind of the ending of the film, which is a little bit of a kind of a melee, wouldn't you say?
What you talking crazy for?
His whole pile surrounding him, I think that's a pretty famous meme. In fact, that's all I knew of Scarface until a little bit ago. And then, of course, the red is symbolic of when he falls into the fountain.
Yeah, you get that big, awesome, just like splash up, and we thought that that would just kind of work out really nice if we could do something like that. And we had this little schnapps glass, and we were like, oh, we could fill that with something red, and then we'll put a little nose candy on top, and then we'll just bloop.
Yes.
And I think it worked out pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a go.
Okay.
Don't get high on your own supply.
All right, so really tropically. I can tell you it definitely tastes a lot like a pina colada, except for there's some bitterness there and a little bit of that kind of smoky, gentle smokiness that you get from tequila. And the bitterness is from the Campari. But this is honestly a pina colada that I could drink all day instead of like the really super sugary ones.
Yeah, this one isn't overly sweet. I mean, you do get, we have the coconut rum in there, the pineapple juice, and then having that little bit of lime juice in there really helps as well.
It really brightened it up.
There is no lying in you.
You get a little bit of layering effect as far as flavor development in there. Later it gets a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, I mean, we get, because the Campari, the peach schnapps, and the Grenadine, a lot of it does come up through to the top. I wouldn't call it a layered drink, but there are sort of levels to it.
You gotta listen to him.
So our second cocktail is inspired also by the end of the film, which has one of the most famous quotes in, you could say, movie history.
Are you serious?
Before we get to that cocktail, which will be very delicious, we would like to stop you for 1 minute and ask that if you're enjoying this content to hit the like button and also the subscribe if you haven't already. And if you could hit that little alert bell.
We need some more little friends.
That's
so
right.
I think we should just go ahead and make my little friend.
You must be kidding.
We're gonna be using spiced rum, coffee liqueur, Liqueur 43, Nixta, Saline, a coconut water sphere, and a cinnamon stick.
Smoke out a highball with a cinnamon stick. In a mixing glass, combine 1½ ounces spiced rum, 1 ounce coffee liqueur, 1 ounce Liqueur 43, ½ an ounce Nixta, and a dropper of Saline. Add a sphere made of coconut water and stir until chilled. Strain into a smoked highball with a coconut water sphere. Garnish with the smoked cinnamon stick. Here is my little friend. I can't say it with the accent.
Say hello to my little friend.
Yes, I know it's very popular. I wish I was talented at accents. I am not. What do you think?
It looks like somebody's nightmare.
It took us a while to figure this one out, but it's very rich drink.
Yes.
The flavors are they're big, they're pronounced. It's interesting. I feel like I get a lot of almost like a dark chocolate flavor, even though we don't have any chocolate bitters, any cream de cacao, anything like that in here.
You're calling me a liar.
So we were going for something really kind of like deep and dark and like a Cuban coffee. And so we had that coffee liqueur in there, which I know you really like that one specifically.
Yes, I really like that particular one because it's a decaf. It's pretty tasty. It's not Cuban, unfortunately. It's out of Tennessee.
No big deal.
It's a great coffee liqueur. I would say I place it between like sweetness level, between like the St. George's,
And Kahlua.
which is bitter, and then Kahlua, which I find very sweet. And so I think it's a great one to have. And like everyone always wants to have like that after dinner drink with a little bit of Kahlua in it, and I'm like,
Hey, Jose.
and the cigar is of course indicative of,
Tony, he's always smoking his cigar, right?
he always is smoking his cigar, and it's really great with this Cuban coffee, which coffee's my friend.
What are you, nuts?
So let's bring in the other cocktail though. And one thing I want to note is that this is such a pretty cocktail. It looks like a Miami sunset.
How would you know, bubblehead?
So this movie came out in the 80s and it really kind of depicts like excess, right?
Nothing exceeds like excess.
Yeah, like there's that one scene with Michelle Pfeiffer where she's like, you know, doing the nostril,
Powdering her nose.
into the lip, and then she takes a drink of a cocktail and drag of a cigarette all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, really, like within 15 seconds, she kind of gets all the.
Yes, in this uber opulent bathroom that's ginormous, has this enormous tub that's probably the size of my room. And so like all of that is very excessive, right?
A little bit. But I think that was also part of the appeal for a lot of people for this movie. I mean, there is sort of the rags to riches story a little bit. And I think people like the idea of the gangster. I think it has this aura. I mean, people love the Godfather movies, but this is a very different gangster movie than like The Godfather.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a really violent movie. I think when I was younger, I really liked that a lot more. I actually had this book called Ultra-Violent Movies, and it would just talk about sort of censorship in movies that were going to be NC-17 that were a little too violent. I just remember reading that, and the shower scene with the chainsaw is pretty intense, and I know that had to go through some cuts. No pun intended.
You're kidding.
No.
I think that how it may have struck American people at the time was there was this huge group of people who were immigrants, and like you said, rags to riches story. So like in a socioeconomic situation where they really loved the story and what this guy did for himself. I could see like people relating.
Gravitating towards that.
Yeah, or even relating to several characters along his path, right?
Okay, you got me.
This really kind of like, pulled back the curtain a little bit and gave people a look inside. And I think there's a little bit of excitement to it because it seems like such a wild world. So throughout this movie, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of swearing, a lot of drug use, and even some scenes with his sister that didn't really age well.
They made me uncomfortable, that's for sure.
I can see that.
But could you imagine how Al Pacino felt when he was that Triple Crown winner and he's just like...
Say hello to my little friend!
On that note, should we go watch another gangsta movie?
I kind of think we should. I think we should actually put on The Godfather Part 2 because you've yet to see that, and I think we should make cocktails for that movie. So,
but maybe you all should tell us what kind of gangster movie you're interested in.
yeah, because we've done The Godfather, we have now done Scarface. What gangster movie should be next? Till next week, we are going to have another movie with 2 amazing cocktails, and guess what? We can't wait to see you there.
That's right. See you next week.
So say goodnight to the bad guy.